Well, hello there. I'd like to welcome you to the show, and something very funny is happening right now. Just as I begin this Facebook Live, there are tree trimmers outside cutting down palm fronds. So let me adjust this so that you can see, I can see your comments. Maybe they'll pass by. Maybe they'll be gone before long. It never fails. They couldn't have picked a better time. Anyway, we're here today, and I'm glad that you're here. This takes just a second so that I can see your comments. There we go. And thank you so much for being here today. Meg, I'm so glad you're here, and you're bright and bushy-tailed. This is what we're doing today. And so I know that Meg is on the right page. Let's see if I can fold this out. But we're going to paint this so that it looks like a party apron. This is what it looks like. And we've used this apron now. I've used it a couple of years and taken it all over the country for people to paint. It's an awesome class, and you can see that we painted kind of Lily Pulitzer roses. I even took mine and I painted some kind of faux lace on here. Oh, good. That is where you should be. We're juvenile delinquents in Hobby Lobby. So, did they have anything that I need to know about? Because I need to know about it. But at first, while everybody's coming in, I'd like to welcome you to the show. Yes, my computer is acting up. In just a minute, this is also the template that we're using to paint the roses. So if any of you might need this, well, just let me know about it. There's someone coming in here. Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Hope I don't bother you.
Pardon?
I said I'm on a live publication thing. I'm on Facebook Live. Live.
Oh, should I leave?
Well, you can, or you can stay in here. I don't mind whichever one. Are you looking for computer?
No, I'm just looking around.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, but excuse me. I'm going to go ahead. Okay, I'm over in the activities room of Florida Grand Motor Coach Resort in Webster, Florida, and this is where I teach painting while we are here for our winter base, and I've been doing it for about 9 years. So we may have people coming in and out of here, I don't know, but most of all the tree trimmers are busy outside, so I hope they'll pass by soon. Anyway, this is the project that we're working on, and we're going to continue working on these roses today. Okay? Now, I want to show you the one that I finished yesterday, Meg, because I went ahead, I found some hot pink, I found some red, I found some white, and we had put this on a base of light pink. So that's where we're going from here. And the strokes that I'm making are kind of a comma stroke made with a flat brush. But, and I can load it in, you know, you can be as fancy as you want. If you do one stroke painting, you could use those strokes, but you don't have to. I don't. So let's go ahead and do this. And what I'm going to do is put another camera on the item, and then we'll go from there. So, oh, you know what? I never plugged in my microphone, but I also never got a cup of water, so let me take care of that. How are you today?
Good.
Okay, and I'm going to plug in the microphone now. That means there'll just be a little less background noise. There it is. Notice the difference whenever I do that? I do. I can tell when I do a playback. Okay, so what we're going to do now is just kind of go in the direction of the rose petals, and I can mix these pinks with the whites. See, they're kind of a comma stroke, and I've got some hot pink. See, it just makes it a little bit different color, and I think I'll mix that hot pink with some red. You'll have to come in here and paint with me one day.
Well, I am a painter.
Oh, great. Well, come back and talk to me then sometime. I'm probably not as good as you are.
I'm a watercolor painter.
Oh, that's something I've always wanted to learn to do. So we have someone in here who's a watercolor painter. Oh my goodness. Well, are you going to be here very long?
I'm here for 6 months.
Wonderful. What's your name?
Tom Selk, S-E-L-C-K.
Okay, Tom. I'm Marty Whitney.
I'm Marty, nice meeting you.
It's very nice meeting you. I teach a class called ARTitude Adjustment, and it's more or less just I offer painting lessons. My husband and I are full-timers, and I teach at RV rallies, RV manufacturer rallies, private resorts, and I'm here during the winter months.
Yeah, I'm a full-timer also.
Are you?
I live with 2 parrots and a dog.
Really?
And me.
Wonderful.
And I travel the country painting in resort areas.
Well, I would love to see some of your work sometime.
I have a lot of it.
Wonderful. Well, I'm down here every day at 3 p.m. and I will usually be here for 30 minutes. And I do this on Facebook. And the other thing that I did here was I just kind of like made some petals here. Yeah, that's awesome, Tom. Nice to meet you. This one is a little bit lighter than the other one, so I could go back if I wanted to.
Bags and things up here, yours?
Yes, these are classes that I've taught here. And these are also classes that I've taught here. And I've done this mural. And we have it once a month. I have a class. This month it'll be on the 21st of November, but I usually do it about the second or third Thursday. So what do you think about that? We can come back and work on it a little bit more.
Well, I would send in a letter of interest to the resort about teaching watercolor techniques.
Well, you're talking to the right person right here. We would love it.
Is that you?
That's me. Actually, what we'll do is submit that to the activities committee, and you decide what date you want to do it.
Well, I've already sent in all my stuff.
Oh, to the activities committee?
Yes.
Wonderful. That's where you need to be.
But I didn't hear anything.
It takes them a while.
Of course, at our age, every day is special.
Oh no! Right here, every day is Friday night. Every Saturday is a weekend night. But whatever that goes. Well, let me get back to this because there's a couple of people looking.
Marty, did you say?
Marty Whitney.
Okay, Marty Whitney.
I'll look forward to talking to you, Tom.
Likewise.
Glad you came in.
Well, I'm just looking around. I just got here.
Oh, good. Well, I'll be happy to help you however I can.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome.
I'm at 245.
Okay, well, I'm on number 7.
Okay.
You never know what's going to happen around here, do you? Now, sorry for that interruption. That was kind of funny, but I'm not kidding. The most talented people come in here sometimes, and you can't turn them away. Now, he comes in here and he says, look at that lady painting roses on an apron. This man is probably, he paints resorts. Good afternoon, Lekka. He paints resorts, so he's probably very talented, but that's okay. His name is Tom. I don't know whether you could see him in the camera or not because he was wandering around in here, and I'm thinking, what's this all about? So anyway, we'll just continue our flowers, and I'm going to look forward to learning some watercolor techniques, something I've wanted to learn for a long time. Do you see I'm kind of doing this in comma strokes, kind of going around with this, and I can even get a different brush a little bit later. Oh, let me show you where we are. Okay, sometimes I forget. He kind of unnerved me, but I really welcome anyone who wants to teach classes here because it's just been me. And I don't get tired of it at all because I get to meet a lot of different people, a lot of fun people, a lot of talented people. I don't paint. If you know me, you know I paint very little with canvases. I love to see lots of projects using painting and just different techniques on other projects. Like next week, I've kind of got an idea of what we'll be doing, but I haven't finalized it in my brain. Well, now this man he was an older looking man. And so when he said that he lived with his 2 parents, I'm thinking, if you live with your 2 parents, you must be a lot younger than you look. And we have a family situation where we're not staying here. Well, we'll be leaving Friday. Actually, we're going to a memorial service. And then we'll be back here probably Friday night or Saturday. So I won't see him or talk to him. Now, so that is another rose. I think I told you we probably could be through with these. Isn't it true that something always happens in here? Crazy, crazy days. Okay. And I'm just putting some little things here. I don't even, well, they look pretty good. These are your flowers, and they can have, you can create whatever details you want on them. That just gives it a little bit of movement. I think I would have liked to have put a little bit of yellow in the middle, but not necessary. So let me just go around here. I still can't get over that man coming in here. But when we start filling up with people here, Meg, you probably know what I'm talking about. When we start filling up with people, it's, let me see if I can change this. Remember I did this yesterday and screwed it up. Oops. I'm going to keep it like it is. I'll just keep it like it is. All right. Now, I'm going to go on around to when you're satisfied with your flower, you can always go back to it later and put in some more strokes. But don't get the paint on you. I didn't put an apron on today. I just had a feeling that I was, oh, look, we're here at a flower that we're going to just begin. And so this is, I don't know why I didn't do the pink over here yesterday. But this one can be, since we've got all the colors today, we'll just do them. It might take several coats of this, of the paint, because we want it to look full and not transparent to see through to the black. If you see me making a mistake, please point it out. Please say, stop. Thank you. I appreciate that, Laka. But the other colors do kind of make it look good, because if you look at a flower, it's not one color. It looks like it, but it's not. It could look like it, but it's probably not. So y'all, I might learn some watercolor. Something I've always wanted to do. I even have watercolor sets that I've bought because I was getting ready to do it. Thinking about it. Thinking to think about it. And you just get this on here. We're going to go back later and get the strokes. Like I said, these are more or less like comma strokes. And we'll just blend them in. This is like, and then afterward, I think on one of these, I did take some type of a highlighter and go around with the edges. I'm gonna have to go back and see if that, because I didn't do it to every class. I'll have to see what I think about how it looks. But it just emphasizes it as a flower. Don't you love that it has lots of different colors? Oh man, Jane, you gotta go look back at that. Whew, you gotta go back and look at that. So this one, hey, this Facebook Live is worth going back. Right, Meg? I didn't know what he was doing. I thought he was, I'm thinking, why is he in here? I mean, isn't it obvious that I'm doing something? But I've had, there was a lady, I think some of you will remember this, there was a lady who was a mother of one of our owners, and she was in here painting one day. I got to know her. She was from Cape Cod. Oh my gosh, she was so talented. I mean, she would do $4,000 portraits, and she did do some work for some of the people around here of pictures of their grandchildren. All you had to do was say, I would like my grandchildren like at the beach. And I want you to paint that a beach scene and include all of them. Okay, well, that's okay. And it just turned out beautiful. And she would charge $4,000 for portraits and stuff like this. She was just very talented and written up in journals. And let's get rid of this. So I didn't have that plugged in whenever he walked in. So I was able to get up and get a glass of water for my paint. But anyway, it came time for the class and she signed up. And I thought, oh man, now I'm going to have to behave. Now I've got to really paint. Now, no, you don't. Whatever you do, you don't have to do it right. What is it? Stu McLaren says you don't have to. Just get it, just do it. You don't have to do it right. You be you, and I was me, and she had a wonderful evening. We corresponded back and forth for several years. She was in her 90s, and what she said to me was one day was, I don't know why God is keeping me alive because I'm so old. And I thought, are you kidding me? You haven't even started. And she was just she was so inspirational. Okay, Jane, I'm glad you'll do that. Very funny. Okay, see, we have such a dull thing when something happens around here. Oh, I went and got a haircut today, and we live close to a little town. We probably have to go 10 miles to get my hair cut. But there's always something good to see along the way. Anyway, let me see. If you came in, everybody here knows me. If you come in, I hope you'll say hello. And where you're from, I know where most of you are from. And I hope you'll just introduce yourself or just say hi. We are finishing up some circular strokes to make some kind of Lily Pulitzer roses for a party apron. I say it's a party apron. You could use it when it isn't a party apron. And a lot of people say to me, I don't wear an apron. Well, wouldn't it look nice if you did at Thanksgiving and Christmas? People might really enjoy seeing you in your hand-painted apron. This, ladies, and gentlemen, because Joe was in here. Tom, I mean. What was his name? This is something that you could give away as a gift. Now, like I said, what I'm going to do before we finish this, because I wanted to finish the flowers today so I can put the lace, the faux lace on tomorrow on the pocket. And that kind of dresses it up so it isn't just Lily Pulitzer flowers. It has Marty Whitney lace on it. Okay, now I'm gonna just make sure this could be an initial cover right here because I see. Are y'all painting with me? It really would. And you know, I have some pillow covers that we're going to paint. And I might do that. I might do a Lily Pulitzer type design on it. That's a good idea, Leica. Oh, let me get a little bit white on here. See, okay. Now, if I can reach something before and not get paint on my blouse, can you believe I did this and didn't get I didn't get my painting apron out. So I must think that I can do this without getting paint on me. I've had that thought before. Yep, I had that thought before. I have used this green lately, but I'd hate for it to separate and ruin my other paint if it. And I'm just going to use a couple of different shades of green just because you should. No, that's not, because leaves are not just one color of green. Do y'all remember a couple of months ago I planted a bougainvillea out front that actually it was in my yard and it died because I'm so good with plants. Anyway, I planted it out and put chicken wire around it, if you'll recall. And yes, Vera Bradley designs. So be looking for a design there. If you see one, let me know. So anyway, we replanted it. I put some chicken wire out in a flower bed that had a palm tree that was cut down. And I put it around the palm tree. Well, it's almost, and I wanted it to cover the stump because they didn't take down the whole stump. So yesterday they removed the stump, took down my chicken wire, and put it back up there. So it really looks good. You can't even tell. Okay, so I'm just using an angle brush. This is a 12, but it doesn't matter. You can kind of work around it. Someone gave me some brushes the other day. Let me see if I can find it. Look at this brush. It's a little bitty brush. I thought it was maybe let me get back here. I thought maybe it was a seam ripper. It's a brush. I can carry it in my purse and paint. There you go. This one, I might have to come back and put some more paint on it. This isn't bleeding through to the other side. I checked it last night. So even if it did, it would be bleeding through just a little. So I hope you like the way that's turned out. I might go through, since I couldn't open that small, darker green one, I might go back and get a darker green and make some marks on the leaves of the, is it this, what do you call it? The leaves, mark on the leaves, the stem, whatever. So I'm kind of trying to get a little bit more paint down on this because this is the first coat here. The pigment in this isn't as thick as the pigment that was in the red and the pink. It's just kind of telling me it's going to need more paint. Okay, so I take it with my angle brush and press down, give it a little bit of pressure, and kind of fill in those areas. I'll go back and straighten that out in a minute. So that's really one of our first leaves here. Well, thank you, DC. I bet that means you're a doctor. Okay. Let's see, doctor of, let me see. You missed it too. Anybody that didn't see the first part of the program has to go see when the man came in. That was kind of funny. I did not expect him. Nobody ever comes in here, I'm telling you. And so this man comes in, and he is a watercolor teacher. He wants to teach watercolor here. So I would like to take watercolor lessons now. So he's going to be here for 6 months. That's about how long our season is, if you didn't know. And then after the 6-month period that people stay here, a lot of them are owners and they go back home. But after that 6 months period, they hit the road, and he's a full-time RVer. So I can go back, I can get a little more detailed brush, go back, and let me see if I can, nope. Thought I might be able to zoom in a little bit, but the way this camera is, I'm not able to. Wonder where Maureen is today. Thank you. This next weekend is a holiday, everybody. It's Veterans Day. So get your flags out. They're celebrating around here by having a breakfast, and that's always important to the veterans, that they be recognized. So be prepared when you see a veteran with a hat on that you say you thank them for their service, because that means a lot to them when they say it. I can say that because it means a lot to my husband, who was a veteran of the Air Force. So don't forget to tell them. Okay, now I'm going to go back over here. In fact, actually, I'll go back over here, but in my heart of hearts, I know I should be letting this dry for just a little bit because it's wet. But I wanted to put some more paint on it. Okay, let me turn this around. I can tell you by looking at these that after they dry, this is what we'll do tomorrow. Look, I don't have any paint on me. What's going on? After they dry, they'll be much more receptive to having more paint put on top, another layer of paint. So I usually do this picture in a picture, but I'm having the same trouble that I had yesterday with it. So there's nothing wrong with just showing you the big picture of the paint project instead of seeing my face up in the corner for right now. Meg, have you started painting your apron yet, or are you just kind of like looking? It doesn't really take that much time to dry. Like yesterday, I left here, and I probably could have come back in an hour or two, and it would have been dry enough to paint again. Paint another coat on there. It doesn't take that long, but the longer you wait for it to get dry is the better. I started on the rows that I did yesterday when I came back in, and it was just so dry and crisp. It was good. It was good. Somebody yesterday asked if I use a fabric medium, a painting medium. It was a fabric medium to paint on fabric. I don't on this. I have done it on shirts and other items that I've painted. I also used, I have some Speedball fabric paint that they use for shirts and things like that. Yeah, you can use it, but it just wasn't necessary in this case. Okay, we're going to finish painting these leaves today, and tomorrow I'm going to go back. I'll go back and put another layer on them, and then we're going to do some detail work on the apron to make it stand out a little bit more. Let me get this next leaf before y'all leave. Okay, that's fine. You know, I felt the same way. A lot of times when you come into a class and they start painting right away, it's very intimidating. I try to make people feel comfortable by telling jokes when they first come into the class, because we've only usually got 2.5 hours on a class that I teach away from here. Well, actually, I try not to do any of them longer than 2.5 hours because it's a long time to spend. Although I'm thinking about having a paint play day where you come in early and we might have lunch, and then we do some projects and then finish some more after lunch. There's a new technique I want to teach, or I want to learn enough to teach it, and that's with resin art. I have a friend, Christine Fitzgerald, who is down, and it's Christine's Coastal Treasures in Jensen Beach or Fort Pierce. It's down there. Anyway, she does resin exclusively with glass and resin. It's a beautiful art, and you use glass, not the kind that hurts you. Hopefully. Let me just see if I can touch this up a little bit. The angle brush is a good brush to use because it gets here on these points. Oh gosh, I did not realize we had been here that long. I'm so glad that you were all here today. And oh look, I was there all the time. I appreciate you being here today, and I hope you will be here tomorrow at 3 p.m. We'll finish this up. Let me see. Oops. Well, I'm going to go ahead and finish this because I've got one more leaf to do, but I'm going to let y'all go because it's been over 30 minutes, and I appreciate you staying here that long. So write down your questions if you have them. If you need a template, let me know. And no telling what happens in this crazy place again. So I'm so glad you're here, and I will see you tomorrow. Remember, it's a great day to have a great day. Y'all have a good evening.